beautiful looking shot right here. Hold on here a second. She is winding up for a big one. She wants to smash this as far as she can hit it.
Smoked that one.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Uh-oh, this could be trouble. This one is way offline and headed towards those out-of-bounds stakes. Well, how about that? The ball stayed inbounds after all, Frank.
Yeah, that was a real head scratcher. A couple more yards and, well, would have paid a severe penalty. Second shot.
Third shot, looking for a good one. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Frank, that's a quality shot.
Yeah, 16 feet or so away. Very makeable.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Frank, the beauty of golf, we're not playing inside a dome with no wind. You have to be able to handle the elements.
You do, and that's really where the better player comes through. On a day like today, anything around par is going to be a good score, so just adjust your own mental par. Really. This is that awkward length.
Frank, that's disappointing. You like to get out of the gates with a par.
Yeah, this is where a convenient memory would certainly help.
So just getting started, even par so far. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. So with that, 1 over par. So Frank, our first par 3, it's the second hole, and that green is kind of lonely out there.
Plus it's built up a little. As you can see, nearly a perfect circle. Hole is 285 yards, and the two bunkers in front, really, they're not that bad. They'll save a shot, really, from sort of bouncing elsewhere. But really, anything on the green you'd take right now.
285 yards, that's a long poke, but again, it is downhill, 36 feet downhill to that green. This one is definitely heading left. Looks like it is going to end up in the rough. Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Perfect! And in the hole. What a shot.
Even par currently.
That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Everything's scary on this golf course, Frank.
You could lay up and just play it as a three-shotter. Then again, how many times do you get to play in amongst the Grand Canyon?
Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Frank, when you look at great rivalries in sports, you realize that athletes need each other. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to achieve greatness, to achieve legendary status. And in golf, Tom Watson needed Jack Nicklaus to push him to another level.
And also to define an era. Without one, we couldn't think of the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or the 2010s. You need those players to define that era. So you need competition. Competition is not without rivalry.
Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. In the thick stuff.
Thick, it's brutal out there.
That's a bit offline in the rough. This looks to be at least an extra club, maybe two clubs going way up that hill to the green.
Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
That will be a great look at birdie.
This is definitely not going down the fairway.
That doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. Pretty good result right there, considering...
It looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, it really did.
This is a cross-country special. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. And getting ready for the putt. Been a little bit of a fight so far, 3 over par. Right about 9 feet here to the hole. In red figures at 1 under par. This is the 4th hole. It is relatively short at 345 yards, but what a wild layout.
It is. This is almost shaped like an L to the right. Very, very sharp dogleg right. Especially when we look above, you can see that big rock pile in the middle there. There's a sliver down that right side. You play a little pinball and perhaps get to the green that way. But this isn't just about aiming down the left, Rich. You've got to get that right distance off the tee. Otherwise, you can hit it too far, be blocked out, hit it short, blocked out. So for a short hole, very deceptive.
Excellent drive, Frank. Right where you want to be. About 120 yards to the hole. Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. This is the second shot at the par 4. That is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Just a shade over par, +1. These putts keep the round together. So with that putt, 2 over par now. Well, Frank, I have never, and I emphasize never, seen anything like this, the par 3 5th hole.
Quite incredible. Just visually, it looks daunting. And the reason why, it is a leap of faith when you go from the top to the bottom. You drop down some 240 feet. Anything behind that green, well, it's the canyon and the Colorado River. So short those 2 bunkers, they'll get more treatment than over the back. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie. Good swing, good shot yet again. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, anything you do differently from the rough in terms of your swing? Do you hinge the club a little bit more quickly?
No, normally put the ball just a little bit further back in your stance because you want the club to be going down. Down, it's got to go down through the grass, through the ball.
This is a 9-footer. One over for the day. All right, no damage done. Stays at 1 over par with that putt. Here at the par 5 6th, 625 yards.
You have to take a bite out of the rocky road here, up and over the railway line, and somehow underneath the arches. From there, you're hitting, well, to an island green, you might say. There's no water. It's just surrounded by rock and canyon.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway.
Oh, that's fine.
Frank, you played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself, and it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Frank, uphill shot, what did you like to do on a play like this?
The biggest thing really is to try and work on your balance. You've got to make sure you get through the shot and normally take an extra club.
Look out left.
And there's rough over there.
Frank in a bit of trouble here at the par 5, missing the green on that third shot.
Yeah, just battling to make par. And this is going to be difficult.
And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say. Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
Well, that's why on this golf course, Frank, there is a premium on hitting fairways.
You're exactly right. Might be also protecting against a flight, but that did anything other than flight.
That is professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Settles in over the putt. So he has that for bogey. I can't help but think that the double bogey back on the fourth hole seems to have really put him off his game. Now with the par 4 seventh hole, this an unusual fairway to say the least, Frank.
It's special. The reason why it's special, because it's shaped like an S. If you play it as a straightaway hole, then you're going to have to stay before that rock crop and then be far enough back that you can at least get over it in a direct line to the green. Otherwise, you're going to need a bit of a cut off the tee, and that would be fairly brave. Easy way, because the hole's not too long, would be to lay it up. More difficult, more enjoyable way is to cut it to the right and try and find a gap.
Frank, it really is an ingenious design here. Hold on here a second. She is winding up for a big one. She wants to smash this far as she can. Second shot, good look at the green. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
This shot from 105 yards away. Boy, I'm reminded of what an old caddy used to say about the great Lanny Watkins when he was on fire. You can't hide the flagstick from that man. Frank, how about that?
Well, can you believe that too? I mean, could have hit the flag and bounced away, instead straight in. Amazing shot, and really deserves it.
Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Rolls in the par putt, stays at +2. Now to the very long par 5 8th hole here at the Canyon. How long, Frank?
Over 700 yards, Rich. I thought at the Olympic Club at the US Open a couple of years back when they made that par 5 700, I thought that was as long as it could be. No, we can even exceed that. Miss the canyon on the left, avoid the rock wall on the right. Well, I don't know if you can reach it for 2. But these boys, if they push the button down and mash it, you just might be one of the first to do it.
Standing on that tee saying, don't hook it, don't hook it. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Well, that's the way you draw it up here at the 8th. You want to get it out there. He's done that, and he's kept it in the fairway. Frank, it took some prodding to get me up in the hot air balloon, but now that we're here, I can't believe what I'm seeing. The views are just to die for.
Well, Rich, it certainly was a first for me as well to call golf from a hot air balloon, but I guess we did have the best seat in the house to see all of the canyon from that area. The way in which the golf course weaves its way through, I think is just is something that I've never seen before. Donkeys instead of caddies, the bison tee markers. You could almost see history evolve in that, and the fact that we now have a golf course in this area, and we have a bird's eye view of it.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. That will be a great look at birdie. Fourth shot, wants to get this close. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. And rolls it in. Nice putt. This from about 10 feet. Makes it and moves to 1 over. Finishing up the front side here with a mammoth par 4.
Anything other than straight, too. It really does suit up for a drive that bends left to right, so it's going to move to the better side of the fairway. There is that rock crop, really, that saves you from going down in the canyon. But from there on in, that second shot, doesn't matter what level of player you are, to hit to a green that just sits out or juts out off the edge, that is some scary second. This has exploded off the club face. Second shot.
And from the fairway for his second shot here. Frank, this one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it. Send it.
Well played here. Went straight for the flagstick, and she will have a nice putt coming up. Either misjudged the wind or simply just pulled the wrong club, Frank.
Going to take some skill now.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. Now that is a shot that will be replayed over and over. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Just a tap in to finish the hole. Frank, we hear the sports psychologists so often say, put the mistake behind you, live in the moment. Easier said than done.
It is, male, female, it doesn't, it certainly affects everybody that plays this game, and somehow you've got to, play, you've heard the old cliche, one shot at a time, but this is why it's so important, because if anything from the past creeps in, it really does affect on what you do after that.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway.
Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. Good-looking shot right here. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Facing 29 feet. Kind of a tricky read. Shouldn't be a problem here. Those are painful from that distance.
Yeah, just another one added to the card. Big mistake.
Back to par for the round. Not her best effort, walks away with a bogey. Here at the 11th hole, and Frank, once again, we hear phrases like rock wall, canyon, not your ordinary golf course, is it?
That's right. This par 4 bends a little to the right. Actually a big advantage for a longer hitter here, because if you can hit it far enough down here, you will see the green. Anything short of that, and it's going to be a blind second.
Just pulverize that golf ball. Always found this to be hard, Frank. You're seething, you're just fired up, you just knocked one out of bounds and you have to kind of put it back together.
Yeah, this one better find the fairway.
Third shot now after having gone OB. Tugged that one a little bit offline to the left, and he'll pay a bit of a price because that rough is fairly thick. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Frank, this one's not looking good.
Yeah, it's certainly not down the fairway line, heading toward the rough.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Miss hit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. It wasn't that hard a shot.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple, completely wrong.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Good putt, and now 1 under par. Now to the par 3 12th, Frank, and obviously there is trouble yet again on the left, and if you miss it to the right, you're not going to be pitching off of a soft piece of grass.
No, you're not. Fortunately, though, this is the shortest of the 4 par 3s here at the golf course. Left, long, in trouble. Fortunately, that bunker might save a few shots from going to what would be an even bigger problem. But at that yardage, there is a chance to make 2. It's not a big target, but anything on the putting surface really is going to give you a birdie opportunity.
Headed for the bunker, I think. Look out, that ball's OB, and that'll be a 1-shot penalty. So playing the 3rd shot right now after having gone OB.
It's at sneaky distance.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Everything has gone wrong today. Just continues to be ugly.
And getting ready for the putt. Nice par to remain 1 under. Frank, now to the 13th hole, and this is the signature hole, isn't it, here at this course?
There's no doubt. The lovely waterfalls that come off one side of the mountain, drip over the side by the green. It's reachable for some players, but the second shot across that little oasis is just magnificent. This is one place, too, where you take the camera out, take a few shots. If it's a layup, though, you've got to consider that fairway when it starts to thin out, that you might want to lay it back in that fatter area of the fairway. It's a little easier.
Missed that one, and it is going towards the rough. That one ends up in the rough.
Oh, that went sideways.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. That's a bit offline in the rough. Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. Safely aboard. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
How did that not go in?
That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
Drops the putt to go to 2 under. Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. Frank, what's cool about this hole is on that third shot, presumably, I don't think anybody can get home in 2 at about 900 yards, but on that third shot, there's just no 2 ways around it. You have to fly it over the canyon.
Rich, I'm scared of heights. I can't afford to look to the right there. That is a massive drop-off down the side there, and when you're looking at that third shot going across there, that is, well, you take a deep breath, hopefully just look at the flag. And then even when you hit it on the green, you've got to walk across that. But that is an enormous drop down to the Colorado River. Oh, that's fine.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. Every once in a while you're reminded this is a pretty hard game.
That was evidence.
Good scoring opportunity. Third shot here at the par 5. Frank, what's the key? You just hit one OB.
Somehow forget what's just happened. Otherwise, the same thing's liable to happen.
This is the 5th shot after going out of bounds on that previous shot. That one needs to hit a tree or something because it is headed out of bounds. Oh man, not a good shot at all.
It was wicked.
Time to just pick up and move on to the next hole. Offline, and I think that one's headed for the rough. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Just 5 feet left. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That takes him to 1 under on the day. And Frank, this is the first time I can ever recall being in a mobile announcer's booth. That's us. Right there, you can see it in that hot air balloon.
Well, we keep blowing hot air. We'll be up here for a while, Rich.
I know I have plenty left in the tank.
Well, let's see if he's got plenty left in the tank after that dismal display from close range at the par 5.
315. Good contact, good result. Frank, you play the game at the highest level. You know it doesn't always go your way. So what kind of advice do you give the player who's having a rough go of it?
I used to have a little notepad that I remembered, and on it was stop, take a deep breath, make a decision, and now go with it. Just re-rack.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Frank, not just a player, but an artist. Just beautiful work right there.
The only thing I can say, Rich, is that was Seve-esque.
and setting up here in the rough. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
These putts keep the round together. Then a rocky round. This for par. That's 1 under on the day. Frank, it's just amazing what they were able to do to get the equipment up here into the Grand Canyon to sculpt this golf course. In fact, there's a hardcover book out about the making of this golf course. It is really fascinating.
It is. That's a good read. And obviously you can sort of peruse through that before you play the golf course, and you'll see that this is one of the many signature holes here on the layout. And I've never seen really this type of hole in golf, one that actually turns back on itself in the shape of a U or a question mark.
You know, what's great about this golf course, Frank, is that it marries history. You talked about, what, how many millions of years?
17 million years ago, the Colorado River started cutting its way through the canyon.
So 17 million years ago, but then you marry that with the modern technology that it took to get in here and dig this out, and then the creativity, the artistic element that's involved from the standpoint of the architects.
Oh, amazing design.
Yeah, let's see what she's got here. She is loading up for the big one. Wow, I mean, she absolutely annihilated that tee ball. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Ready for a second shot, trying to knock it on the green. I don't know what happened there, but he missed it badly, well to the right. Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight.
Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Good stroke right there. That's a par and stays at 1 under. Settles in over the putt. Well, you almost lose count at this point. Safe to say, not under par. In fact, well over par. Now to the 17th, Frank, and obviously a really tight driving area.
I've seen corridors that are wider than this one. The hole's not overly long. That's the positive side of it. But it is, without doubt, incredibly narrow. Now, you can play pinball here because left off that mountain should come back down, and right should also come back down. So we might see a little bit of pinball, but somehow get it in between those two, and it will leave you with a second shot to a green that pitches slightly back towards you.
Can't hit a ball that hard.
That is crushing it beyond all crushing.
Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Good looking shot right here. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Second shot, good look at the green.
Now it's that sneaky distance.
Ah, that hurts. Wow.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
That's a solid par putt. A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par.
1 under for the round.
So we've come to the finishing hole, and it is a par 3. And Frank, you think about bucket list golf courses, the old course at St. Andrews, TPC Sawgrass with the 17th, the Island Green, Pebble Beach, Augusta National. This one certainly has to be on anybody's list before their days are done.
It is, and the only thing really crazier for this hole is if they actually stuck it out there on a little sliver of land out there on top of the Colorado River. But wonderful way to finish what's been a good day. Long par 3, well protected by those 2 bunkers, but there's enough green there and a good shot. We might just see a putt for 2 to finish the day. That's as bad a shot as I've seen for a long while. Well, it's a big green. He's managed to get it smack bang in the middle of it.
Digs in, ready for the bunker shot.
Yeah, second shot here. Just try and aim a little bit behind that ball, an inch or 2.
That's a bit offline in the rough. And he's putting for par now. So a tough way to close the round, missing a short putt and a bogey here at 18. This requires a lot of speed through the ball. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Everything has gone wrong today. Just continues to be ugly.
So with that, the score is now at even par.
Well, that about wraps things up for us here today. I'd like to thank my partner, Frank Nobilo. Enjoyed it, Frank.
Certainly did, Rich.